At the edge of a vast kingdom known as the Land of the Seven Plains, there lived a girl named Leon. She had no permanent home. A small, worn-out wooden hut was all that sheltered her from the cold. She worked in the market, selling bread she baked herself every morning. But Leon was not an ordinary girl. Inside every loaf of bread she placed a small piece of paper, carrying an idea, a question, or a piece of wisdom. Her goal wasn't just to earn money, she was trying to change the way people think. One stormy day, as strong winds swept through the market, the king's soldiers rushed past. The kingdom was in turmoil. There were thefts, rebellions, and growing anger among the people due to harsh decisions imposed by the king. Amid the chaos, one of Leon's loaves fell in front of a commander. He picked it up mockingly but noticed the paper inside. He opened it and read, "When people fear the ruler, the truth disappears, and when the ruler fears the truth, the kingdom falls." The commander's face changed instantly. The next day, Leon stood in the palace, her hands bound. She was brought into the throne room where the king sat with a stern face and an angry gaze. He shouted, "Are you the one who wrote this?" She looked at him steadily, despite the fear inside her. "Yes, my lord." The king slammed his hand on the throne. "Are you accusing me of weakening my kingdom? Who are you to judge your king?" Tension filled the room. Soldiers gripped their swords. Everyone expected her immediate execution. But Leon spoke clearly. "I am not judging you. I am trying to help you understand." The king stepped closer, furious. "You help me understand? You're just a girl from the market." She replied, "Yes, and that's exactly why I see what you don't. The people don't hate you. They fear you, and fear does not create loyalty." A heavy silence fell. The king didn't calm down, but her words struck him in a place he didn't expect. He said sharply, "If you're telling the truth, prove it. You have one chance. If you fail, you will be punished." Leon smiled slightly. "Give me just 3 days." The king agreed, not out of trust, but curiosity. On the first day, Leon asked to go into the city without royal guards. Disguised in a simple cloak, she began speaking with people, merchants, the poor, and soldiers. On the second day, she went to troubled areas where theft and rebellion were common. She carried no weapon, only words. In a dark alley, she faced a group of thieves. They were about to attack her, but she said confidently, "You don't steal because you're evil, but because you're hungry and angry." They hesitated. One of them said, "And why do you care?" She answered, "Because if you keep going like this, the ruler will kill you. If you suddenly stop, he'll imprison you. But if you speak, things might change." They laughed sarcastically, but they didn't harm her. On the third day, she returned to the palace. Everyone stood in the throne room, the king watching her closely. He said, "Well, what did you do?" She replied, "I didn't change the people. I understood them." She signaled to the guards, "Bring in those waiting outside." A group entered, a merchant, a soldier, and even 2 of the thieves. The king was surprised. Leon began, "This merchant lost his business due to sudden taxes. This soldier hasn't been paid for months, and these couldn't find food." She looked directly into the king's eyes. "The problem isn't them. It's the decisions made without hearing their voices." The king grew angry again. "Are you saying I'm unjust?" She stepped forward and said firmly, "I'm saying you haven't listened enough." Silence. Then she added, "A strong ruler is not one who makes people afraid, but one who lets them speak without fear." For the first time, the king had no quick response. He looked around, saw fear in the eyes of those present, then looked at the people Leon had brought. He didn't see hatred, only fearful hope. He slowly sat down and said more calmly, "And what is the solution?" Leon smiled. "Start by listening, before giving orders." From that moment, everything began to change. Leon didn't become a queen immediately. She became an advisor. She attended meetings with the king, discussing, even disagreeing with him, without fear. Together they faced conspiracies within the palace. Some nobles tried to eliminate her because she threatened their influence. One night they nearly attacked her, but she uncovered their plan with the help of a soldier who trusted her. The king's trust in her grew, not only for her wisdom but for her courage. Over time, the kingdom changed. Crime decreased, the people calmed, stability returned. One day in front of everyone, the king said, "This girl I almost punished is the one who saved my kingdom." Then he looked at her and said, "Layan, will you accept to rule beside me?" Everyone was shocked. She smiled and said, "I will, on one condition." The king laughed. "You still have conditions? What is it?" She replied, "That I will always speak the truth, even if it angers you." For the first time, the king smiled without anger. "That is exactly what I need." And so, Layan did not reach the palace by luck. She entered it in chains and left it as a queen. And most importantly, she didn't just change her place, she changed a king and a kingdom.